myself before. My name is Rhiannon. I'm one of the founders of Flaming Coals and BBQ Spit Rotisseries. Tony and I started the company about 11 years ago. So Tony has a Greek background. His parents have had Greek restaurants. We've worked in a winery that his parents owned that had a Greek cuisine. So we're quite familiar with cooking gyro and other spit roasted meats. So we already lit the coal over there before. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of a traditional Cypriot style spit. The name, it's called Cyprus Spit because the style originated back in Cyprus, but now everyone uses them. You know, the traditional ones were this high off the ground, and the guys used to sit on milk crates and turn skewers one round. And now they've been redeveloped and they're all motorised, and you know they're taller for the Australian man, basically. So there's a couple of different ways we can cook on this kind of spit. So it comes with 3 skewers, and what that basically allows you to do is you can have all 3 long skewers running at a time. So depending on what you're cooking, you could have 1 going, 2 going, or you could have all 3 going. Now again, it's evolved with time. You know, now you can get cages with them, and so today I'm basically going to show you how to cook with the cage, and also how to cook gyro, which is like gyro. You all know what it is. It's basically the meat, the thinly shaved slices of meat that you get in fish and chip shops, and they put in this fluff. Right. So not the doner kebabs, which are upright, the horizontal ones that they cook over charcoal. So basically, there's a motor on the end, and all these 3 skewers turn simultaneously. Today, just to keep things simple, I'm going to put it all onto the one. Now, you'll also notice there's all these little notches across here. We can put another one in. So if you're wanting a quick and easy meal, for example, you use these little kebab skewers. And these, again, this section's all motorised as well. These basically just slot in here and turn. So you can imagine you've got heaps of meat going on the top 3 skewers, whether it's chicken legs in the basket, a leg of lamb, which we're doing in the basket today, pieces of pork, you know, anything big you'll have on the top 3 skewers, and then you can have small pieces of, you know, little cube pieces of meat or corn, even little chicken wings you could have going in the bottom. So what we quite often do is we'll have a gyro going across the top, and then we'll get some corn or some vegetables, along the bottom skewers. We haven't mentioned vegetables once today.
I don't know what they are.
You don't know what they are? Well,
Smoked kale.
It's smoked kale. That's what you put in your competition box, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to put some smoked kale.
Yeah. That's your 5-serve event today, or whatever you're supposed to have. Alright, so essentially, today I'm going to do a bit of a demo. We'll put just a couple of skewers on the bottom so you can see how they work. And because they're so close to the fire, you'll find they'll cook in about 12 minutes. It's good if the kids are getting a bit restless and they just want to eat. Cook the skewers and get them out of the way. It's all height adjustable as well. So, unlike a smoker where you can adjust your air vents, with a spit you need to be able to monitor, the only way really to monitor your temperature is to be able to raise and lower the skewer either closer or further away from the meat. So, you can raise and lower it that way. The other way you can move your temperature around is by using like a rake. Just you can push your coal around and disperse it that way. And of course, like most spits, they come with grills and you can barbecue on them that way. So we don't actually own a gas barbecue. Everything we cook is over charcoal, whether it's on something small like that or a little broader one. Has anyone got something similar to that?
Yep.
At all? You do? Yeah. What do you normally cook on it?
I don't cook on it anymore now.
Really?
Yeah, because I use the cube.
Ah, okay.
But what did you cook on it?
Plenty of lamb.
Lamb?
Everything. Everything
Did
really.
you cook the little skewers much? Or maybe
Never used them. Never
Okay.
used them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I reckon I probably cook more on the little ones.
A lot of cage cooking. I do.
Cage cooking? Yeah.
Chicken.
Well, let's see. Well, today we'll go through an
Yeah.
example. Right, so that's just a little rundown on how a Cyprus works. And so now we're going to do a bit of meat preparation. So first thing we're going to cook is we've got a deboned leg of lamb, which we're going to cook in the cage. So these cages are all basically height adjustable. So depending on what you're cooking, you just adjust the height so it presses down nice and hard. So basically, we rang up a butcher and said we want a leg of lamb with the bone out. They've already taken that bone out. We could have just as easily cooked with the bone in, but we wouldn't have done it in a basket. We would have put prongs on it instead.
Any good butcher would do that for you. Yeah, any good butcher would debone anything you want. It saves you guys a lot of time.
So when it's deboned, it's not pretty, so that's basically what you're left with, alright? So, the basic marinade that we tend to use is obviously, your standard salt, pepper, onion, garlic, I'll put rosemary on the lamb, and you can put a bit of paprika on there as well. So I didn't prepare it like Cam did, because he's already got it all mixed up. I just go by sight. I know my mother-in-law would be cringing. She always used to have it perfectly laid out on the scales based on the kilos of the meat, but I just go by eye. And it still tastes alright.
And traditionally, guys, a lot of Greek and Italian and this sort of cooking, it was all by feel as well. So the way Rihanna's putting the rub on, and I know my partner's Nonna, she doesn't measure anything, so don't be afraid just to play around with the rubs. Marinades, just put in what you think is going to work. You learn each time.
One day I'm going to get the ultimate rub, and then I wouldn't have measured it, and I'll never be able to replicate it again. That's the risk.
So you guys have done well and slow as well. All the herbs and spices that Rihanna just mentioned, is everything you use in your dry rubs anyway. So you're going to have all this stuff in your kitchen covered because it's all the same.
Yeah. There's nothing special about we're using that voice rub, we're not using something upmarket rub that came from
No, literally, like we got this from, I was going to say Safeway, but Woolworths.
I don't know, it doesn't need to be special.
Alright, so I'll do. Now I haven't trimmed this at all. That lamb needs a bit of fat because that's what's going to keep the moisture in. And really, there's not too much on it anyway. A lot of butchers will actually marinate it for you if you ask. So if you don't want to go through this yourself, you can take the rotisserie skewer into the butcher, tell them how many people you're feeding, and they will just thread it all on for you. You go back and you pick it up on the morning of your party, and then you just throw it straight onto the spit. A lot of people.
All the guys, like whole animal, if you're doing a pig, you've got a good butcher. You take your northern fittings, and obviously tell them beforehand, they will mount it for you, they will do it, and any good butcher will do that.
And most, they won't charge for it either. You're already buying the meat from them, so.
Yeah.
All good. Exactly. Alright, so I've got that marinade. Look, in an ideal world, this would have been done yesterday. And we would have cling wrapped it and let it really marinate through. But because I wanted to show you guys how to do it. Alright, so that fits in quite comfortably. I probably could have really wedged it up together and put another one in. The lid goes on, and basically you just squeeze it in as hard as you can. So chicken wings and chicken legs also go really well in here.
Whole chicken. You guys want to send the videos that we've done? I've done a whole chicken in there. Splayed chicken to a whole chicken. Turns out.
Alright, now before I put that on, what I need to do is move the charcoal around. So if you want to come in closer, feel free. But basically, to light the charcoal, we lit it all up in a mound, right? So it's all together. Now it's all catched, basically. We want to spread that out to where the meat's going to go. So say for example, I was just going to cook one chicken. You just have enough charcoal to cover that area of one chicken. You don't heat up, don't fill up the whole thing, right? today, because with the gyro and the basket, it's going to pretty much span the whole thing. I do need to spread that out further. But there's quite a lot of heat coming off this. Mallee root is known for being quite hot charcoal. And I'm not just being girly, it is hot.
It is really. And guys, mallee root's a premium charcoal. It's a very hard charcoal to source. We do it here in New South Wales alone. It's very hard to get. So for spit roasting, it's beautiful.
Now, again, we're recording. We'll send you guys a link to where the recording's going to be. But if you do want to stand up for a second, you'll see I've specifically put the charcoal. Look, I haven't spread it out so it's covering the whole base. It's to one side. And the reason being is because at some point when this is cooking, the fat and the oil from the meat is going to start dripping, and you do not want to cause a fat fire. Last thing you want is that fat oil dripping on the charcoal, and next thing you know the whole thing's cooked. Seen it done, had a whole pig on the spit, we went up in flames.
We've had people light lambs on fire from walking away, and then their motors have caught fire and all sorts of stuff. It's fire. Don't walk away from it and move charcoal around so it's not dripping.
One thing, I've just had a thought. I'm actually only going to use one skewer today, so I'm going to move this basket along so I can fit both on the same skewer. So then I'm going to prepare the gyro. So these flat plates are called gyro discs, and the reason why we use flat plates is gyro is designed to be carved throughout the cooking process, right? And so it's obviously, as you're shaving the meat, it's easier to carve against a flat disc. So imagine my hand and knife, you're carving. You don't have anything obstructing you there. Whereas if I was using these and I'm carving, I'm kind of dodging these spikes all the time. So yeah, somebody decided to think of flat plates and they make your life a lot easier.
Now you can do it with the prongs, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Rhiannon has done it a few times with prongs. We did a bit of an experiment side by side. Gyro discs makes life a lot easier.
Yeah.
You can really wedge it in there too.
So now I'm going to start preparing the gyro. Now again, you can do it yourself. I've done it plenty of times. Just literally got a lamb shoulder and carved it up bit by bit. And that is what you gave us. You didn't slice it. So there we go. I was going to try and make things a bit quicker, but okay. So we've got a whole lamb shoulder here.
I'll be speaking to that butcher.
Now it's a test. Does she actually know what she's talking about? Alright, what you can do is a lot of butchers, they already know what gyro is. So if you go to them and you ask them, can you cut a lamb shoulder for gyro? They'll cut it up into the right cut for you. Otherwise, if they look at you with a blank stare, basically just tell them to cut it into 10 mil thick strips. Okay, so I could be spending, if I wanted to, I'd spend probably 45 minutes to an hour on this. I'm not, so I'm just going to get it done as best I can. I'm just going to start carving it up now. Because the discs are quite, like these discs here are about 150 mil. You could, if you wanted, have it really wide. You could have a gyro packed out here if you wanted. But I want it to cook quick, right? So I'm going to cut them into fairly small chunks like that. It'll cook quicker. So that's probably still a little bit too thick for my liking. I'll have to show your mum this. She's going to be so proud of me. Greek mother-in-law. So I'm using the boning knife. Did you use a boning knife earlier, Cam?
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay, so it's exactly the same as whatever Cam used before. And so now we've basically got strips like that. Now, yes, some are going to be bigger than others. It does not matter, all right?
And guys, I do assure you, this was asked cut. The butcher must have done.
Or you didn't give right instructions, one way or the other.
You gave the wrong instruction idea,
Just kidding. I thought women could follow instructions. Well, that's directions, one or the other. I don't know. So yeah, that's effectively what it needs to look like. It's not rocket science. Trust me, however you do it, it will be fine. So has anyone tried cooking gyro before at home? No! Okay, it is the easiest way. Yes, it may take a little bit to prepare, but it's the easiest way to cook. Because basically what you do is once we put this all on the skewer, After about an hour, we'll be ready to start carving it up. And so we're finding a lot of people are doing it for 21st and 18th birthdays. When all the kids just rock up whenever they feel like it, you've always got fresh meat to carve. Whereas if you're doing a whole leg of lamb, you've kind of got to wait till the whole thing's cooked all the way through before you take it off. So Cam, what are you doing over there?
Sorry, I'm just chopping up wood, guys.
So we're getting some more iron bark on there?
Getting some more iron bark on there just for burning a bit of heat. We dropped a little bit of temp. Ideally, I'd have it the smoker in a different position, but so you guys can see in that position.
Alright, now all the Greeks on Facebook are probably going to crucify me for saying this, but have you guys seen the My Big Fat Greek Wedding before? Basically,
You lived it, didn't you?
without the big fat wedding, yeah. Don't I hear about that? You've really thrown my train of thought now. Basically, there's a guy in there that talks about, the origin of all words come from a Greek word, right? So, Yudo essentially just means to turn. And that's exactly what the spit's going to do, just to turn. Alright, I've done all the lamb. Now, I do something a little bit unorthodox. I promise I've done this, I don't know how many dozens of times, alright? Chicken. Some people like to keep the lamb and the chicken separate. The way we do it is we do 1 and 1. So we put 1 bit of lamb, 1 bit of chicken, 1 bit of lamb, 1 bit of chicken, right? If you wanted, you could do all the lamb and then all the chicken together. It's up to you, but we just whack it all together. Alright, now these are chicken thighs. Again, you could thin that out a little bit. There's not too much difference, but I'll just show you. You thin it out a bit. Just to open it up a bit, right? And then you'd either cut that in half, so it's like that, or you could double it over, just like fold it over, right?
So Rhiannon, why do you use a mixture of lamb and chicken?
I just find that the fattiness of the lamb keeps the chicken moist. And don't use chicken breast whenever you do. It just turns out too dry.
Yep.
You have to baste it a lot more regularly. Alright. This is what we're going to run with.
So your chicken thigh is the same concept as your pork shoulder, your brisket. It's your harder working muscle. It's got a lot more fat, a lot more connective tissue.
Yeah.
So therefore, when it cooks over a long time, it stays a lot juicier.
It
Alright.
makes a really good because you're getting a mixture of both.
Alright. So again, I'm just going to mix all different spices on. Pretty much the same as what we did before, right? So, pepper. A lot of butchers will pre-marinate this for you. So just give them an idea if you want it a bit spicy or not. So everyone's had a souvlaki, right? Yeah.
Even Ken, a young boy from one of our workers, he's just flown over from the Philippines. He had a souvlaki for the first time, and he really enjoyed it. So I think it's something that everyone sort of enjoys. This is better at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What, when you're hungover? Well, hungover hasn't stuck in.
Yeah, it hasn't stuck in. This prolongs the drug.
Does it? Huh. Alright. So just sprinkle it all on there. It's not rocket science at all, alright?
Yeah.
Now again, I had this sitting out of the fridge a little bit, just to warm up. Not to unsafe temperatures, but just to help it cook a little bit quicker. All good. So I'm just doing the second side and then we'll start threading it on.
The lamb was pretty lean. Would you normally take any hard fat off it?
I would. Yeah. Look, this was pretty lean, you're right.
Bristly.
Yeah.
Once again, same with barbecue, like smoking. Anything, you got to picture it when it's cooked. So if you think that it looks as though it's going to be disgusting and fatty, take it off. Yeah. I think that's part of the puzzle with trimming any meat. You've got to look at the end product rather than the raw material looking in front of you.
Okay. Now, with the gyro, what we typically say is you want to allow about 300 grams of meat per person, alright? And then all you need to do then is basically just get some pita bread if you wanted and some salads, and people can just make it up themselves. So it's a really easy way to cook for a large number of people. Now here, we've only got a couple of kilos here max. Alright, so easiest way to do it is put it upright, have your flat disc, and then just thread it one by one at a time. Now obviously if you're doing a big, massive spit, you're going to need help because it'll start to wobble.
The discs definitely help guys with reinforcing it too. Just makes it a lot easier to thread.
Now, a lot of people say, you know, they're unsure about how to cook it, and I'm like, yeah, as you can see, it's not that difficult. I'm not worried about how I'm putting it on. Thanks. Why am I going to fall? Go flying. The Greek knot. Get in there. She's about to screw something up.
So you don't stab your hands.
Also, don't stab my hand. Yeah, be careful of the sharp.
I'm sure it's happened a million times.
Yeah.
See how it's
Wait.
basic meat? Your hands are meat?
More connective tissue as well.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just more careful than you, burning your fingertips and whatever else. Yeah. I'm putting it between two fingers. That's the trick. All right. Now, obviously, the more you want to pack on, the harder you're going to press down. I have had a customer, and I'm not kidding you. He put 25 kilos of gyro on a stick this size. And I would not have believed him until he sent me in the video.
Yeah, we've got the video online, guys.
Salim Huli.
He absolutely nailed it. Like the amount of hero he had going. I mean, it was just him and his wife. No, I'm sure he's planning for a lot of people, but
And a big family, I think.
you know, this is great for Christmas Day, guys. You have people filtering through, family that turn up at 9 o'clock in the morning and they want to eat. This is good breakfast. To 6 o'clock at night, and you've got a huge gyro. You're just shaving it slowly throughout the day.
The good thing is, it doesn't have to cook all the way through. So, and you can heat it, not heat it up. You can rush it if you want, like really just crisp up the outside, carve a bit more. All right. Oh, thank you. Good catch, Tony. I need you to design something to hold these things together.
Tony's our head designer.
Alright, you're holding that?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm pushing this as hard as I can. Alright, and tighten the bolts.
Yes.
Obviously.
That's it.
Alright. Cool. So that's basically what it looks like. You can see, bits are going to start to dangle a bit. Who cares? Doesn't matter. It's like, it's not a fine dining experience.
There's that angle on the people that cook.
Yes.
That's right. That's what you...
Take that by itself.
What'd you do to me, Cam?
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you moved my basket. Let's move it that way. Push it that way.
I am. There we go.
There we go. All good. Alright, so with the basket, we're going to allow that to cook all the way through. And then take it out of the basket and carve that. Whereas with that, we're going to shave it bit by bit. Yeah, what I would suggest is lowering this much closer to the fire. It depends how quickly you want to cook, right? I could have that first carve ready if I wanted within 45 minutes, just chuck heaps more charcoal on. Or I could leave it there for 3 hours before the first cook. It just depends on how much charcoal you want to put on there.
3-second rule tends to be a good rule of thumb for this kind of stuff. So 3-second rule is put your hand at the contact point of the thing. You've got to pull it away for 3 seconds.
Now it's probably a little bit early to do some basting, but I'll I'll go through the process with you anyway. So I've just made up a mixture here. So there's lemon juice and olive oil. That's all. And then I've added a few spices as well. So there's salt and oregano. Now, these are the most puniest rosemary springs I've ever seen in my life, but that was all that was available from the supermarket. So you can use just a basting brush, but this imparts a little bit of flavour as well. So mix it in, then the salt will dissolve. And then what you do is, as it's cooking, you just baste it on. And then what you'll find, you know, little bits of lemon and oil will drip, and then that'll create a bit of smoke. Like, not a full-on fat fire, but it will create a bit more for the flavour to go in. Yeah, I think I put a bit too much oil there. If that does happen, just raise it up. There's no big deal anyway. It's all good.
So you can imagine, guys, the smell throughout the day is just amazing.
You'll find people, this becomes the focal point of the party. It's not like a smoker where you can't open the lid, right? People are literally standing around it, not now when it's raw, but grabbing bits off that are cooked, and yeah.
It's a very communal way of cooking, guys. So, you know, the guys will hang around and they'll